Good morning. Let us look at Casebook's new feature on how to input training. We're going to start by going to the Training tab at the top of your screen. We are now viewing all training events that have been input into the system thus far. And we are viewing those for a 1-year period. See today's date, we go back 1 year. We can search by person. This is star any, or we can pick any person that's on the list and see training events where they have been attached. But let's start by creating a new training event. We're going to select the new training event button. We're now going to select the date of the training. We will select today, the instructor, and this is just pretend data. We can put in credentials, we can put in a location, and notes if necessary. We have now created a basic training event. The next step, we are going to pick our topics that were covered on this event. We will note here at the top, we see the training date, the instructor, credentials, locations, topics, attendees, and this is the training event ID number. So let us pick our topics. We have pre-populated Casebook with a set of default topics, which should cover for most agencies. Each agency, though, will be able to modify these topics down the road. So let us pick water safety. Our default hours are set to 0. We can say this was a 1-hour training, and we can give it an expiration date, and we're going to pick a short expiration date so that we can see how that acts. So we have picked our topic. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to save. Now we are going to add attendees to that training event. We opted not to display all persons in your system because that list can become quite extensive. So we are going to use search features. We can search by a person's name and or their role that they play in the system. So if we type just a single character of a name, we are going to show you all names or 5 names that have that letter in them. If we wanted to narrow this selection, we could pick a role as well and narrow our search field. Now we have all foster parents that have the letter A in their name. We can now select an individual, and at this point we can decide, is that the correct number of hours and is that the correct expiration date. Here you will see the default. Here you are able to modify. Here you see the default date. Here you are able to modify. We're going to say that this information is correct, so we are going to save. Now we see here at the bottom of our screen, these are people that we currently have attached to this training event. If we wanted to pick another one, we can pick another. We can modify the hours or the expiration date if necessary. If not, we can save and add yet another person. Let's find somebody with a different letter in their name. And here's a different one. We can select a third person. We can look at their hours, and we can verify their expiration date, and we can save. Now, here at the bottom of our screen, we have 3 different people attached to this one single training event here at the top of your screen. We have now created this event. As you add people, the event is created. So now we can go look at our all training events, and we can see this event has been created and those 3 people have been added. This was one topic for multiple people. Let's say we had multiple topics and multiple people. We can create a new training event. We can pick a date. We can pick our instructor. We can put in credentials if necessary, location, and notes if we want to. We can save, and now we are looking at our topics. So we can say that there was multiple topics covered in this event. And let's say we want to preset hours and decide that's how many hours. We can change expiration dates on each one independently here. And we have now set this data. We now have our topics. We save, and now we can start to search, and let's say they have a T in their name. And now we can pick a person, and you see that the hours and the expiration dates that you set when you selected the topics are preset. These can be modified on the fly if you so choose. And we can change it for this one person. We can save. And now we can pick another person. Say all of this data is correct. We can now save. So now we have 2 people assigned to multiple topics. Let's pick a third person. Let's say we got 8 hours here. And now we can save that. We have created the topic. As you add the people, that more or less completes that training event, but you continually add people to a single event. We go back and we look at our all training events, and we have to find our date. And our date range was tomorrow, wasn't it? And there we have, by changing our date range to include the date of our training event, we can see we have multiple topics attached to multiple people in the system. And that is how we create training events. If an event has errors and you want to modify, we can select that event. We can edit it. We can edit the event itself. Move it back a day. We can save. If we want to edit the topics of that event, here are the topics covered. However, once people are attached to the event, or attendees are attached to the event, we cannot change the event until those people are removed from the event, and then we can change it. So let's look at our attendees, and if we want to remove someone from an event, we click the X. We want to delete that person from the event. We can click the X. We can delete that person from the event. Click the X, confirm delete. Now there are no people attached to this event. So now under topics covered, we can now edit the topics covered, and we could remove a topic if we so chose, or change topics. And then we go through our normal process of adding attendees to the event. And we can add multiples if we so choose by just selecting their name, verifying that the topic information is correct, and we click save. We can go back and look at our event and see that we have in fact changed that event. We changed the topics and we changed the attendees. And that is how you create a training event inside Casebook.